G'day everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse, Tuckle, Marks Point, for this Friday's fishing report. Lake Macquarie, the backdrop, and it's been a popular spot the last few weeks. We have got some incredible water off our part of the coastline at the moment, coming over Swansea Bridge only moments ago. That water was absolutely aqua and some unbelievable temperatures, 22.5 degrees almost on the beach, 25 out to the shelf, and this week has really seen this pelagic activity. Those marlin have come alive. There's been a lot of black marlin in close up towards Port Stephens, but some good fish out off the coast here. Michael Walker yesterday, 127 kilo blue marlin, stand up on 24 kilo line. That is a great effort. A lot of striped marlin off our part of the coastline right the way through to Sydney. So there's striped marlin along the coast and a lot of striped marlin inshore of that. There's 60, 70 fathoms. Getting reports of this. Black marlin that were up at Port Stephens, very, very close. You can virtually off the back of the beach. These blacks now all the way along the coast. I'm hearing reports as far away as Sydney, and they're in very, very close. It's unbelievable the way it's just basically exploded. Reports of a few yellowfin in and around that 60 fathom line, only small fish, but they're there, and some big dolphin fish out in that deeper water. But the water is absolutely perfect all the way through. If you're going to get onto the farm area, look, there's not a lot of reports of dolphinfish on the fads at the moment, guys, but this marlin activity means that trailer boats and a lot of the smaller craft can get out and basically get out to even the ship line. Now, the ship line presents itself as a great opportunity to get through down that 30 fathom line and chase some of these small black marlin, and no doubt there'll be some good dolphin fish with this just incredible water we've got. If you're going to fish coastally and basically look for trag, there's plenty of trag, but because this water has picked up so quickly, you're now going to see some beautiful mulloway getting caught. So mulloway, trag, few reds, and just all your other species, your mowies and the bonito. And the bonito have started to come on really, really well. And of course, we've seen some extraordinary catches this week. 90 centimetre cobia caught on Monday trolling a lure, and I did hear of another cobia lost over towards Coal Point. We talked about it a few weeks ago. The abundance, what it appears to be at the moment, of kingfish right the way through the channel, Swansea Bridge, down at the drop over, but schools of juvenile kingfish in the lake. A lot of the guys talking about it, thinking that they're actually tailor busting up or even salmon, but they're not. They're kingies from around about 53 centimetres up, mixed in. There's a few 70s there, but a lot of 53s to 60s. So a lot of juvenile kings, but it is unbelievable that we're seeing so many kingfish at this part of the year, and these cobia thrown in. So mate, it is looking incredibly well. You've got a prawn run happening also next week, starts around about Tuesday night. It will really kick itself into gear again, and it will improve what is already a cracking season on brim and whiting on the sand flats. There's some good brim in the channel, but once this prawn run kicks into gear, that'll go next level, and you'll see so many brim through this channel. Baits, of course, tube worms, Hawkesbury prawns, but a lot of lures that will probably get used next week, particularly as that prawn run moves through into next weekend. Squid, guys, have been incredibly hard to get, and everyone's talking about it. I just think that flood rain that we had last March has really upset the apple cart as far as squid goes. You're going to see a little bit more of a build up in the next week on this prawn run. I think that is the time to take advantage of it, and that in the channel, and particularly at the drop over, because a lot of these squid will be hunting the prawns at night, but they're just not in the lake in any numbers. There's been some beautiful crabs, and I know Paul Shepherd, a good mate of mine, he's been getting some beautiful crabs out in the lake here and getting some excellent brim and flathead wallies, putting a few pots out, putting a couple of hand lines out, and doing very well. And our good mate Jumpin' Johnny Frith, he has actually found a little bit more time opposed to work to do a bit more fishing, and he's getting some bag limit catches of brim on the lake. But what he has been doing is fishing late in the evening and picking up some beautiful reds up to 52 centimetres, and he got dusted by a big fish there only a week ago. So there's some beautiful fish in the lake, but I just think over the next couple of weeks it's really going to just pick itself up on the back of that prawn run itself. A few mulloway around, but again, you're just going to have to move around, and just the squid is just going to be the killer. If you're going to get on the beaches, have mixed reports of the beach, some good whiting around, and some monster dart, guys. Some of the dart that the guys were telling you about this morning, some of the biggest ones I'd heard of for many years. So lots of dart and some big ones amongst them, brim of course, and whiting. But you're just going to have to move around on the edges. There's a bit of a sandbag happening there at the moment on that low tide, so probably as that run-in tide comes in, it'll be the preferred tide to fish. Run-in tide, of course, tomorrow around about 1:45, and we've got a 1/4 low tide, so obviously get there on that low tide and fish the making tide. But there's some small whiting mixed in with them, just going to have to weed it out. And of course, Blacksmith's breakwater on the inside edge on that run-out tide, a very, very popular spot. The only thing I haven't really heard much about is the rocks, but because everyone's trying to get offshore fishing the estuary and the beaches, it takes the attention off the rocks. But no doubt with the amount of activity around, it's not going to be long that we start to see a lot more bonito, certainly kings, on some of those open rock headlands. So that's well worth a go. Tomorrow, going to go out with Lucas Stansfeld and my good mate Shane Banks. We're going to see if we can tangle up with one of those marlin. The boys did really well the last few days. It looks exciting. The water's perfect. Guys, you've got to get out there. I'll see you next Friday.